Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. Coach Steve Kerr is recognized by Warriors fans and NBA analysts as one of the best coaches in recent years. Even so, Steve Kerr did not sign a contract extension, and according to Warriors insiders, the famous coach is considering leaving the Warriors after his contract ends next year. Steve Kerr is expected to leave the Golden State Warriors because he is worn out and wants to take a break from coaching. Steve Kerr's contract with the Warriors expires after the 2025-26 season. The franchise has yet to initiate extension discussions with their championship-winning coach. Kerr's potential departure would leave Stephen Curry with just 1 year remaining on his deal. This scenario could effectively end the dynasty that began in 2015 and continues with Draymond Green still anchoring the roster. Warriors general manager Mike Dunleavy recently provided an update on the delicate situation. He expressed his desire to retain Kerr while respecting the coach's autonomy over his future decisions. Dunleavy refuses to pressure Kerr into contract extension. The Warriors executive emphasized his hands-off approach during a podcast appearance with Tim Kawakami. Dunleavy wants Kerr to make the decision that feels right for both parties. On a personal level, I'd love to have Steve locked in and know the certainty of that, because he's such a great coach for our organization, for our team, Dunleavy explained. But also, with Steve, like he's earned that right at his age, all that he's accomplished. Not going to push him into anything. Dunleavy trusts Kerr's judgment about the timing of any potential departure. You also want a coach like, if there's a time for him to step away, he'll know, and he's going to do that based on what he feels is right for him, but also the organization, he added. Warriors commit to veteran core despite championship window closing. The Warriors continue building around their aging roster, with Curry, Green, and Jimmy Butler serving as cornerstones. This decision signals their commitment to maximizing the remaining years of their championship core. Golden State's approach also suggests they're moving on from young star Jonathan Kuminga, who entered free agency this offseason. The franchise prioritized veteran leadership over youth development. Their veteran-heavy roster proved it can still compete at the highest level. The Warriors reached the second round of the playoffs before Stephen Curry's injury ended their championship pursuit. Final championship push could mark end of Kerr era. Next season represents potentially the last realistic title opportunity for this core group. The Warriors are chasing their fifth championship since 2015, having won titles in 2017, 2018, and 2022 under Kerr's guidance. Basically feel like he can coach here as long as he wants, and we'll just work out the contract details and all that as we go, Dunleavy concluded. The uncertainty surrounding Kerr's future adds another layer of urgency to Golden State's championship aspirations. Whether this season marks the end of an era remains to be seen. Now that the NBA draft is over, what should Warriors do with Jonathan Kuminga? With the NBA draft in the rearview mirror, the entire Warriors offseason orbits around one solitary question. What will happen with Jonathan Kuminga? The talented but inconsistent 22-year-old forward has tantalized the Warriors with his athleticism and scoring, and frustrated with his mental lapses and on-court gaffes, for 4 seasons since being the number 7 pick in the 2021 draft. The Warriors did not sign Kuminga to an extension last offseason, with the forward reportedly declining a 5-year, $150 million deal. After a hot start to the season, Kuminga missed 31 games with a severe ankle injury. Once he returned, Kuminga struggled to find playing time in lineups featuring the newly added Jimmy Butler. I did it here and there, but it was never a consistent role given to me, Kuminga told The Athletic. It only happens 5 games on, 10 games off. I want it to be a consistent role. Because I know what I got. I know what I could bring. After being a healthy scratch to end the regular season, and during a few first-round playoff games versus Houston, he scored 18, 30, 23, and 26 points in the final 4 games of the Minnesota series after Curry went down with a hamstring injury. Now, assuming Kuminga signs the $10 million qualifying offer on Sunday, he will enter restricted free agency. The Kings and Heat are reported to have interest in the 6'9" wing. However, if another team offers a contract to Kuminga, the Warriors have an opportunity to match the deal or negotiate a sign-and-trade. Regardless of whether he remains in the Bay Area or goes elsewhere, Kuminga has made it clear he craves a featured role in a team's offense. "I feel like I'm at the point where that has to be my priority, to just be one of the guys a team relies on," Kuminga told The Athletic. "Aiming to be an all-star. Multiple times. Aiming to be great. Wherever I'm going to be at, it don't matter if it's the Warriors or if it's anywhere else, it's something I want." There is no deadline for the Warriors to make their decision on Kuminga, but if a decision is not made quickly, then the rest of the free agency pool could dry up during their inaction. "I think for both sides, we'd like to get something figured out as soon as possible," Warriors general manager Mike Dunleavy said during Thursday's press conference. "But that's the way it goes with restricted free agency. So you're not going to stress about it too much." Golden State has $139 million in salary committed to Steph Curry, Butler, and Draymond Green next season, and with a salary cap of $154 million, going into the luxury tax is certain as the Warriors fill out their roster. Getting into the first apron, which brings along its own set of restrictions when it comes to adding players, at $195.9 million is probable, especially if Kuminga resigns for at least $25 million a year. But if the Warriors wish, they could orchestrate a sign-and-trade with Kuminga's destination of choice, bringing in what should be a bundle of cheap veterans in lieu of paying one player that entire sum. While that is an attractive option, the case for keeping Kuminga is also a straightforward one. He is the only player on the roster who can use his athletic gifts to get to the rim with any sort of consistency, and he showed high-level one-on-one defensive chops against the Timberwolves. And there is still a chance that Kuminga's faith in his own abilities is well-founded, and that the young man is an all-star in the waiting, someone who would give the post-Curry Warriors someone to build around. But whether he wants to reach that potential with the only team he's ever known, or with another franchise who is willing to give him a steady diet of shots and touches, is up to him. "I think, ultimately, from his end, he's the one who is a free agent who has to sign the contract," Dunleavy said. "So by doing that, if that happens with us, that's reflective of his desire to be here." Warriors Mike Dunleavy Jr. lays out honest 2025 outlook for rookies. With no picks in the first round of the 2025 NBA draft, the Golden State Warriors weren't expected to make any draft night fireworks. But after the Warriors flipped the 41st overall pick they received in the Miami Heat Jimmy Butler trade to the Phoenix Suns, the Dubs came away with Australian forward Alex Toohey at number 52 and Florida guard Will Richard at number 56. It was by no means the most shocking trade ever made during the NBA draft. But it was a move that the Warriors believe gives them the most value. In his post-draft press conference, Dubs general manager Mike Dunleavy talked through the team's thought process behind trading down. "We had a couple of players we were targeting from the get-go. Trading back, we were fortunate enough to get them," Dunleavy said. "We think they fit our culture. They fit our program and how we want to play. And we're excited about it." Despite being second-rounders, Toohey's experience down under in the NBL and Richard's 4 years in college could, in theory, give the Warriors two players who could be ready to play right from the get-go. However, Dunleavy was honest about his expectations for them entering a pivotal season of the Stephen Curry era. "It's hard. I mean, I'm willing to be wrong on this, but the last few years I've said it. I don't expect these guys to have much of an impact as rookies. It's hard to do that," Dunleavy told reporters. "Will's older. He played on a national championship team. So maybe he's got a little bit of a shot. Alex has played against pros in Australia, so sure, maybe these guys have a chance but don't want to bank on it. I think our roster will be good anyway. But we don't think these guys are years away." The Dubs have a tradition of turning second-rounders into contributing rotational pieces. Obviously, Draymond Green is one of the best second-round draft picks in NBA history. But in recent years, players like Tracy Jackson-Davis and Quinton Post are reasonable benchmarks for the Warriors' picks this draft. With Toohey, the Australian brings a 6'8" frame and defensive versatility. Though one of the biggest knocks against him is his lack of NBA-ready athleticism, he has a high IQ and plays within the flow of the scheme. Defense, IQ, and feel, three things necessary for any end-of-the-bench player on Steve Kerr's roster. With our system and the way we play, he has the versatility to play multiple positions, Dunleavy said in the same press conference. It's about who can you guard and where can you play offensively. He's super versatile and creates a lot of plays, which is important for us defensively with Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler and Brandon Podziemski. We have guys who can disrupt, and this guy fits that mold. Richard brings ample experience from the acclaimed Florida program. At 6'4" as a combo guard/wing, Richard has the profile of a prototypical 3-and-D player. With 49/36/84 shooting splits and his consistent attention on defense, he provides the Warriors with another wing option off the bench. We see him as a two-way player who can shoot it and defend, and I think he's a pretty good on-ball defender and a very good off-ball defender, Dunleavy said. He's got good length, and he's coming from a really good program and system where he's well-coached and well-taught in many years in college. This is a guy who knows how to play. With Tui and Richard, the Warriors prioritized experience and intangibles over potential and long-term project types. Dub Nation will get a chance to watch them up close for the first time during the California Classic. Coleman Hawkins expected to attend Warriors training camp. Former Illinois and Kansas State forward Coleman Hawkins is expected to attend training camp with the Warriors, a source tells Jeff Goodman of Field of 68, Twitter link. He'll also play for the Warriors Summer League team, tweets Brian Kalbrowski of USA Today. While Goodman doesn't provide any specifics on Hawkins' potential contract with Golden State, a training camp invitee would typically receive an Exhibit 10 deal, which is a one-year, non-guaranteed minimum contract that doesn't count toward the cap unless the player makes the regular season roster. After spending 4 years with the Fighting Illini, Hawkins transferred to Kansas State in 2024 ahead of his final college season. He filled up the stat sheet as a full-time starter for the Wildcats, averaging 10.7 points, 6.9 rebounds, 4.3 assists, 1.8 steals, and 1.3 blocks per game, though he did struggle to score efficiently, shooting 40.1% from the field, 30.3% on three-pointers, and 57.7% from the free throw line. Hawkins, who wasn't ranked among this year's top 100 draft-eligible prospects by ESPN or The Athletic, is the third undrafted rookie reported to have a potential camp deal in place with Golden State, joining L.J. Cryer and Chance McMillian. DeMarcus Cousins reveals Steve Kerr would call out the 2019 Warriors for being disrespectful. Former NBA star DeMarcus Cousins appeared on the latest episode of the Run Your Race podcast, where he spoke about his time with the Golden State Warriors. Cousins was with the Warriors in the 2018-19 season and revealed that head coach Steve Kerr would call out the players for disrespecting the competition. "It was so bad, bro," Cousins said. "Steve used to be like, man, y'all are being disrespectful. It was times we going out there, for warm-ups, with like 6 minutes on the clock. Steve like, you guys gotta show some type of respect." Host Theo Pinson revealed that teams usually go out for warm-ups with about 20 minutes left. The Warriors, though, were so confident they were going to win that they'd show up far later than that. "He's not even really tripping on the fact that we're going out that late because he knows we're showing up," Cousins stated. "We going to do our job every night. It was just the look of it. It's just like, this S*** getting a little disrespectful. Steph, Curry, like, guys, come on, man. The optics weren't great, but when you have a team with Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, it can be difficult at times to take the competition too seriously. That Warriors team was just too good, and they were the two-time defending champions at the time as well." After losing in the 2016 NBA Finals to the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Warriors shocked the basketball world by signing Durant in free agency. A superstar of his caliber joining a team that had set a new NBA record by going 73-9 in the 2015-16 season meant the rest of the league could kiss their chances of winning a title goodbye. The Warriors crushed the competition in 2016-17, going 67-15 in the regular season and 16-1 in the playoffs. The Houston Rockets managed to offer some resistance in the 2018 postseason, but Golden State prevailed in the end. As if it wasn't unfair enough to have such a loaded team, the Warriors signed Cousins as a free agent in 2018. The big man had torn his Achilles earlier that year and wasn't the force he once was, but it was more firepower for a team that didn't need it. The Warriors got off to a 10-1 start in the 2018-19 season, and you wondered if this team was going to just run over the league. Injuries then started to slow them down a bit, and that would be a sign of things to come. The Warriors would still finish that season as the top seed in the West with a 57-25 record. Despite Durant suffering an injury in the conference semifinals against the Rockets, the team made its way back to the NBA Finals. They'd face the Toronto Raptors on the big stage, and things would go horribly wrong in that series. The Raptors took a 3-1 lead in Durant's absence to put the Warriors on the brink of elimination. The superstar would return for Game 5 but tore his Achilles in the second quarter. The Warriors still managed to win on the night to stave off elimination, but would then see Thompson tear his ACL in Game 6. That was one too many injuries to overcome, and the Raptors would emerge triumphant in 6 games. Cousins would finish the 2018-19 season with averages of 16.3 points, 8.2 rebounds, 3.6 assists, 1.3 steals, and 1.5 blocks per game. He'd leave the Warriors following that loss and join the Los Angeles Lakers. Cousins, though, would tear his ACL in a pickup game in the summer of 2019 before ever suiting up for the Lakers. That proved to be the beginning of the end of his NBA career, as he played his last game in the league in 2022.